How's everybody doing? So the new Master Yi patch is coming out very soon, and we're losing lethal tempo, and Master Yi is currently sitting at the lowest win rate he has been in like 2 years. Where do we go? How do we build? I'm going to show you in today's video, but first I'm going to start off by showing you the mastery so that we're just going to make this nice and quick so you don't feel like Cowsep's wasting your time. Boom. And boom. So we have two different options here, which is like Hail of Blades versus Press the Attack. And I will explain those options here in a second. But first, I want to pop up what I predict the item build is going to be so that people that are here for the builds can really get a feel for what they want. I know, I'm just the nicest streamer. All right, so there's the build that I think that we're going to run, but I think there's other builds as well. So if you want to see those builds, including the crypt build, then sit through the video and I will explain it. But let's start off with the runes and what I think we're going to be bringing in terms of runes. So it's a lot, but I'm going to TLDR it. Press the Attack is probably going to be the new replacement for lethal tempo. It's now much better because it gives you 8% extra damage, and you also do adaptive damage to champions. And yeah, it's just all around a really solid ability. I don't think Conqueror is going to be good. It only ends up giving you like 20 AD or something late game. And it's just really not that good. Like, would you rather have 20 AD or would you rather amplify your 8% true damage? Like, 8% of 100 true damage is 8 extra damage that you're doing there compared to like, whatever percent, 30% of. Oh, I guess you get 6 from the 20 AD. But yeah, you don't have to stack it and all that stuff. I don't think Conqueror is going to be good. And I know some of you guys are going to hate on me for this, but I really don't think it's going to be good. Now, the other runes, it's mostly the same. Yeah, there's some new runes that are getting added to the game, but overall, I think that it'll mostly be the same for, you're going to bring Triumph and you're going to bring Legend Alacrity. Tenacity is dead. Now we have some ability haste rune. I don't think Master Yi really cares much about the ability haste rune, so that's no big deal. And then, oh yeah, we had coup de grace versus cut down. I'll probably end up bringing cut down. I mean, I think all these runes are pretty solid choices. You just choose which one is most comfortable for you. I'm going to experiment with cut down, see if I like it. Next is the secondary, which is the second runes, and this is really up to you. I personally differ from a lot of Master Yi players, but I don't typically recommend my runes because I just recommend what I know everybody's going to end up bringing so that I don't look like I'm wrong. But if you want to be more like me, I bring the free boots, and I also bring Cosmic Insight. The Jack of all trades looks really interesting, so I might try that out later, but I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be any good until after I try it. What most Master Yi players bring is, I believe, Eyeball Collection and Relentless Hunter. Personally, I like the free boots, and Relentless Hunter also got a nerf this patch, so it now has 0 movement speed at level 1. It's just not going to be as good, I think, but honestly, most Master Yi players are going to bring that, so you do what you do. And the mini shards, I run 10% attack speed, 5 attack damage, and then HP scaling. You can also run HP scaling if you plan to go for the Titanic Hydra, which I really enjoy doing. So sometimes I run double HP scaling, but this looks pretty solid. Next, let's look at the Hail of Blades rune. So I've been playing with Hail of Blades to prepare for this, and Hail of Blades is the same as it was last patch, but my idea with Hail of Blades is that now that Lethal Tempo is gone, which is the best rune on Master Yi hands down, we need to start balancing Master Yi around the lack of lethal tempo. So we're going to be seeing some buffs, which is just going to make Hail of Blades better because Master Yi is going to be better. So I'm really excited about that. Just multiple auto attacks is very strong, and it's a lot of burst. I posted a short of it the other day. You can check that out. I'll continue playing with it. And I also want to do a climb with Hail of Blades as well, but man, time is like running out. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to do like a climb in EU as well. Next up, so we need to look at all the runes in the Hail of Blades. So you want to go Eyeball Collection, probably Relentless Hunter, but you can go Treasure Hunter as well if you want it. And then I believe you can go Sudden Impact. I don't have the runes available to me right now, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Anyway, I put it up on the screen. It's just the standard runes. And then for secondaries, this is where the problem lies for me, is I don't think Inspiration Secondary is very good for this. I think you want to get Triumph, and you get Legend Alacrity. You want to get that extra attack speed, and you want to get the heal. This is pretty much what I guarantee the Hail of Blades runes are going to be if anybody decides to run Hail of Blades. And honestly, I don't think Hail of Blades is really that bad. So those are the runes that you're looking at, and hopefully that's helpful for you. Let's go ahead and get into the items, which is the fun part because these are the new things. And yeah, look at this beautiful Infinity. I just think it's going to be a chonker. Let's look at what we predict the Master Yi build is going to be. Last time when Master Yi when the new items came out, I predicted Master Yi's build to be Kraken, Rageblade Blade, and Rune King. And guess what? I was right. I've been running Titanic, but overall, that's what Master Yi players have been running. So what do I predict that we're going to be running this patch? So this is actually kind of hard because I think Kraken Slayer is a better item, but it no longer has a really great build-up that it used to have. And Blade and Rune King has better base stats in general while having the same build-up. So what are we going to be running first? My idea is that we're probably going to be running with the Blade and Rune King into the Kraken, into the guinsoos, or Blade and Rune King into guinsoos into Kraken. Kraken's kind of interesting now because it does extra damage based on their missing health. So you can do a maximum of 210 physical damage. So that's like 70 on-hit damage. Honestly, it's not that strong. I don't know if it's because like my level's low. Let me level up and we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's only... Oh, there we go. Okay, that's much better. Yeah, so we're looking at over 100 physical damage, which, honestly, when you think about Kraken Slayer with Hail of Blades, it's kind of an interesting combo because smack, 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 boom. And also, Kraken Slayer no longer has crit, which makes it a very solid on-hit item. I think they did a really good job with shaping Kraken, and I could definitely see this as like a second item over the Rage Blade, but Rage Blade synergy with Blade Ranking is really good. But Blade Ranking actually got a nerf. The enemy current health damage used to be 12. Now it's 9. So it's significantly worse against tanks than it used to be. Basically, we lose 25% of the damage. However, they did compensate by giving us some more stats like attack damage, attack speed, and some lifesteal. I mean, Kraken's still pretty solid, but the build-up's really bad. And we're already used to running Blade and Rune King as a rush anyway. It's going to be a hard prediction, but I think we're probably going to be going Blade and Rune King, Kraken, Rage Blade is my prediction for the next patch. And then, of course, like, what do you get afterwards? We're going to talk about that, but it's important to look at the first 3 items. That's what we got. Now, if you're running a Hail of Blades, I think the build is probably going to be the same as if you're running Press the Attack. I really think you're going to go like Blade and Rune King, Kraken, guinsoos here. What is it? Yeah, so this one wants us to go here. It doesn't want us to go guinsoos. I just don't think Kraken's going to be good as a first item. I mean, it's okay, but I think it'll be a second item. Let's take a look at some of the other items that'll be interesting on Yi. So we have Navori Flickerblade, which gives 25% crit chance, 7% move speed, 40% attack speed, and 15% of cooldowns. The old Navori gave 12% of the cooldowns, and it also gave you like some extra percent damage based off your crit. I think this current version is much better, and it's very cheap. It's a very solid Zeal item. I definitely think that we might be seeing ourselves building this, especially when I go into discussing the crit build. Wits End still going to be a solid choice. It's just how it is. Static Shiv got changed into... I don't even know. Looks like Static Shiv got changed to flat 90 damage here. I don't think we're ever going to be running Shiv. Doesn't even give crit anymore. Not a big deal. I don't think it's going to be good. Now, take a good look at Phantom Dancer. Phantom Dancer no longer has stacks. It gives a straight 60% attack speed, 15% crit chance, and a humongous 12% movement speed is actually completely nutty. Let's see what we would look like without boots if we go that. So we're 355 move speed. Phantom Dancer takes us to boot level move speed. So if you don't know, with boots, you typically get 400 movement speed. So Phantom Dancer alone replaces boots, which I think was what Riot's going for there. So that's definitely something that we're going to be looking at. But I think that it's going to be more reserved for the crit build. And I'm going to get to that. I actually think crit build's going to be pretty good, and we might be seeing crit build get resurrected here. We got the Tal Wild Arrows here. Critical hits, apply a stack and bleed. It does 38 physical damage. I don't think it's that good, but let's try it out here. We're going to... oh, yeah, by the way, every crit item only has 25% crit now, so it's much easier to hit 100 crit. So, yeah. Let me go ahead and spawn an enemy dummy, and let's see how this bleed works. All right. And I got to alt-tab because my FPS. All right, check that bleed. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. Look at the bleed. That's a decent amount of extra damage. Personally, that basically means... Okay, this is kind of weird. Because this means that you do an extra 104 on-hit damage, but it's a bleed. That's really weird. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that item. I don't think it's that good. But it's interesting, to say the least. Next, we have the Bloodthirster, which is a really solid lifesteal option for people like that. Also makes you a bit tankier as well. I need to kill the minions here. Yeah, it makes you a bit tankier as well because now it gives you the shield. If you don't know, you now have the shield that stacks up here. Master Yi's never really been a good user of this version of the Bloodthirster, and the reason why is he has a really hard time keeping the shield up. So I mean, I guess we're keeping it up right now. Up to 400 shield. It looks like there's no timer on the shield. So actually, this is very interesting because this kind of makes Master Yi a decent user of Bloodthirster now. Now that you don't have to keep a timer up and the shield is just permanent. Having an extra 400 HP shield at all given time while being an AD and lifesteal item, it's pretty interesting, but it's very, very expensive. So, you know, it also doesn't have crit anymore. So, next up, we have the Lord Dominus Regards, which got a buff on the armor pin. We're up at 40% armor pin. Bro, guys, like, wait until I show you this crit build. I mean, you're kind of looking at it almost, but, like, it's going to be insane. You got 40% pin with 25% crit chance. It's just nutty. It's actually kind of nutty. This item looks like it got a huge change as well. We got 70 AD on this sucker. This thing's way more expensive with way more AD. So, yeah. And then this thing got a... I don't even know. I don't even know how to feel about this. Nobody wants to buy this thing. I hate this thing. It's so useless. Like when you're buying, whatchamacallit. And then we had the Scout Slingshot, which is just normal build-up items. So that's kind of how those are. If we look at the fighter items for some other items that Master Yi might like, I think that Titanic Hydra is still the same. So it's still good. Steraks got a really big nerf. We're probably not going to be building Steraks anymore. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but the nerf was pretty large. I mean, we might still build it. Death Dance got a buff. It heals more. Still on the fence about that. Don't think we'll be building that. And I think that's about it. There's a new Overlords Bloodmail. Gain 2% of your bonus health as attack damage. That's kind of interesting. I wonder how that works with Titanic. Titanic does not give AD like that anymore. Yeah, this is old Titanic. Gain up to 10% based on your percent missing health. This is kind of nutty. I don't know. This is kind of nutty, especially if you combine it with the Titanic. We might be seeing some really fun bruiser builds with Master Yi coming up. Let me look through here to make sure none of these items got changed. I don't think anything really got changed. The collector is 25% crit chance, and it's 3,200 gold now instead of 3,000. I don't know if they increased the AD on it. But yeah, it's a really solid lethality item for crit chance. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about like what we're expecting Critical Master Yi to be running. So with Critical Master Yi, it's going to be really interesting. I personally think that if we're going for like a Critical Master Yi build, this is rough. This is really rough to figure out what kind of build you want to get. Bro, imagine you start with Navori Flickerblade though. But I think that you just need to start with AD. And the thing is like Infinity Edge is just a chunky punk. Like it's kind of OP, but you need to get the AD. I personally really like the idea. Don't hate on me on this. I kind of like the idea of rushing a Navori Flickerblade. I know. Into an Infinity Edge. Into the Lord Dominus Regards. Oh yeah, Ezin Reaver got to change too. Look how much ability haste that thing gives. It's it no longer has the on hit, by the way. It's just a pure CDR attack damage crit chance. If you want CDR, you got it. And then we're probably looking at maybe collector. Let's see how hard we hit. So it's not really about it's not about how much your alpha strike hits. And let me alt tab here. Okay. Yeah, so I mean it's big damage. Like we can get pretty decent damage here. But like we have press the attack increasing our damage by 8% as well. Look at these crits. I mean, we're doing crits for over 768 damage. And if we look at our cooldowns, look at the cooldowns from the Flicker Blade. Pretty good cooldowns as well. Like, which just kind of makes us a machine here. But I also think that we might be looking at like a collector into an Infinity Edge. Now, this is kind of troll. We go collector into Infinity Edge into Phantom Dancer. We can save the Navori Blades for later or something like that. And this gives us a full 100% crit too, instead of the Flicker Blade. So this is... I mean, look at these crits. We're doing 884 damage on these crits here. It's very, very nice. The thing is like, Master Yi's definitely going to shred with this crit build. I think Crit Master Yi is definitely back. So you could definitely be looking at that. And yeah, so that I think that pretty much covers all the items here that Mastery is going to be having. What do I think the future Mastery holds? You never know. They got to balance them with the lack of lethal tempo. So I think Mastery is going to get stronger, and then Hail of Blades is going to be a more legit option. And I'm probably in the new patch, I'm probably going to be playing Hail of Blades. Oh, you may be also wondering about like Titanic Hydra. I do think Titanic Hydra is a pretty solid choice, especially with Hail of Blades, because you have this benefit. Wow, look how much extra damage Press the Attack gave me. Man, I want to see this real quick. Oh, yeah, like one auto gave me 200 extra damage. Press the attacks. It's actually going to be nuts. Look at Press the Attack's extra damage. Look at that. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, if we run the Hail of Blades, auto attack resets with W and the Titanic Hydra aren't affected by that at all. And, yeah, so if you guys have any questions about Mastery, leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. And hopefully this little guide video has been helpful for you guys.